Hey guys, I'm Ashley with Are You Sure You Want to Do That? And this is Interviewing With. Today we have a wonderful guest. Not only does he dress the superheroes that we know and love, but he is also a brilliant co-DM for D4. Dustin Fletcher, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Hey, thanks. I'm happy to be here.
So first thing we gotta talk about, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the campaign, if you can.
D4. We are a long narrative show that we are going into, I think, a year and a half. We're about halfway through our second year. We started January last year, 2019. We started with a very, very heavily modified Dragon Heist. I had just finished Stream of Many Eyes, where I was like, I'm going to do that because I just got to spend a weekend in Waterdeep, and that sounds awesome. And so Devin and I took Dragon Heist, we gutted it, and we pretty much made it our own with using, it as more like a backbone of a story and then kind of filled in around that. We are a year and a half into it and we're still not finished with like the story of Dragon Heist. They're still looking for the Stone of Golor. It hasn't been complete. We broke it up into four separate parts: the stone itself and the three eyes. But there's been a lot of side quests and a lot of crossovers with other shows that has been a lot of fun. But that's where we are right now. It's we're a very emotionally real story. So heavy role play, and our players are very slow building because they really build those relationships not only between each other but with the NPCs. And so it is, I mean, there's a lot of times where Devin and I we're sitting back like this, and our incredible cast is just stealing the show with incredible role play. Um, so it's we're some people who I know have run Dragon Heist have been like, yeah, we finished it in like 3 or 4 sessions, or we finished it in like 3 months. We are very much a slow, long running narrative. But it's been fun. Devin and I are very big on the spooky and supernatural horror and psychological horror aspects of storytelling. Excuse me. That we put that into the story itself. So a little bit of far realm stuff, a little bit of spooky horror stuff there, and
Cool.
but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
What got you started in DMing?
Oh man, I've always DM'd. I occasionally, I'll get to play in a campaign, but it stemmed from my dive into role playing was actually LARPing, not tabletop. I LARPed before I started playing tabletop. I had watched the D&D cartoon, and I had played Baldur's Gate, the original Baldur's Gate, when it came out back in the early 90s, and that was like my first introduction to D&D, but I didn't really know it was D&D at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started LARPing, and one of my friends who I was playing with was like, hey, I want to start a D&D campaign. And this was right as third edition had started. And so we started with third edition and then switched over to 3.5 when that happened. And after playing in that campaign, after that, I was running stories at LARPs, and I loved telling stories and just, getting the reaction of what we in LARP call bleed, where you yourself feels the emotion that your character is feeling, no matter what it is, whether it's happiness, sadness, fear, whatever that emotion is. And as a storyteller, I loved pushing that such an immersive story that the player left the game or left the story feeling complete, or just so real that story has like impacted them, whether it's saddening, like I said, happiness, sadness, joyfulness, whatever. That to me as a storyteller, and I love the reaction of my players, and that commitment that you get from telling a good story to a player, and the joy that they feel from that story. And that's just, I've always loved that aspect, and I think that's what pushed me to tell stories.
What is the biggest struggle you have as a DM?
Time. Devin and I, we custom build all of our maps for every encounter.
Cool.
And, if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic right now, we work, 60 to 80 hours a week in the film industry. So trying to juggle that and run a full-time show is just, it seems like we never have enough time. That's the biggest hurdle, is just, I need more time in a day. I wish I didn't have to sleep, because I would rather be up building things and writing. But I'm lucky because I have a co-DM, and I'm spoiled now because of Devin. We are Jaeger pilots. D4 is our giant mech suit. We are one mind, and like I've run some one shots and DM'd a few things here and there, and it is definitely a boon to have him next to me at the table, because gameplay goes much more smoothly. I've learned 15 years DMing by myself, from having that person next to you that that you can rely on, that no matter what, you can really focus on the story. And if there's ever a hiccup, one person can take over talking to the players, and there's never really almost a break in the story. As it just continues to flow, one person can check something while the other person keeps talking. Plus it makes talking with multiple NPCs really fun, as you actually have someone to play off of. You're not talking to yourself and having multiple conversations with yourself, which we've all done if we've ever DM'd. But yeah, I totally veered left on that question.
No, you're good.
But yeah, it's time. I wish we had more time in the day and the week, because it always seems like Saturday night where we think we're good, and then something will come up and we're like, well, we're going to be up until the sunrise finishing this, writing this encounter, or writing this part of the story or descriptions, or finishing this map and building this thing, or we'll get to Saturday and we're like, hey, what if we did this? How much time we got? It'll be good.
Yeah, we can do it. Don't worry about it. Who needs sleep? What do you love most about TTRPGs?
The stories, and the togetherness that it brings. Even from long-term campaigns to one-shots, that telling a story with a group of people is so much fun. And even the smallest detail can last forever in the memory of telling a story. And it's not, it's with all tabletop RPGs that I've had the pleasure of playing, is there's always something from them that you remember. And to me, that's incredible.
I couldn't agree enough. I mean, I have some great memories just talking, with an NPC, or going to my friends and just be like, hey, do you remember that time that we did this thing? Because it's like etched in your mind, like it actually happened.
Yep.
So I couldn't agree enough with that. You're also an amazing cosplayer. I would like to know, what has been your favorite to have the cosplay?
It's Iceman. It's, I think, what really got me known as a cosplayer. I did it, funny enough, I did it at San Diego Comic-Con 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Oh man, has it really been that long? That's crazy. But yeah, it was Iceman, and at San Diego, I had started as Bobby Drake and just regular, and then slowly did more icing as the event went on. And I did a fully iced up head to toe. And then Dragon Con, the next year, I did bald cap, fully iced up head to toe 90s Iceman, which was a lot of fun. It was a fun cosplay to create the prosthetics for, and come up with the actual ice effect. But yeah, that's probably my favorite today. But I mean, my Flash, because I'm a huge Flash fan. I love my flash suit. I'm sad that my flash suit doesn't fit anymore because quarantine 15 or quarantine more than 15.
Mm.
Yep, but no, it's I'll always have a special place in my heart for the Flash, and I have a beautiful Flash costume from my friend over at God Save the Queen Fashions who made my Flash suit. It is a thing of beauty based off of Jim Lee's Wally West design, and
Oh, that sounds amazing.
yeah, I love it so much.
You are also on ATL by night. Can you tell us
I
a little bit about your character?
I am. My character is like the complete opposite of me. His name is Cirrus, or Cirrus ibn Muhavara bin Yaftab. He is a Banu Hakim. He has a very complicated backstory, which I am excited to slowly start getting out there more. We just finished season 2, which because of the quarantine, I was only able to make one session, but I got to do stuff off camera, and the storyteller Ellie Collins is incredible, and we're both storytellers, we're both DMs, and so we like to plot and push red buttons and throw wrenches,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's been a lot of fun. But he is very dry, very dark, doesn't really have any emotion. He is an assassin, and just there is no. It's been revealed. It got revealed in last season, so he doesn't remember his life before being embraced into the Banu Hakim, and so just kind of it just kind of exists. He has that little Drax almost personality of not getting common jokes or stuff like that, and things just go over his head, and it's fun to play a very emotionless, dark character when I am not that at all. I'm very charismatic and love to talk and love to just be goofy and make pun jokes, and to have a character that is so opposite from me it's a lot of fun to step into his headspace, and it's fun to get into his headspace because you have to basically sit in quiet with like music or something going, and just kind of like get into his mindset of don't smile, don't laugh. It's really hard because I like to laugh and smile.
But that's something I noticed when just kind of like when you step into a vampire role, you got to put that goofy side, unless you're like a Malkavian, but you kind of put that goofy side to and you are that vampire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Vampire the Masquerade is such a fun game because of
Mhm.
how just dark and political it is, and it's the creepy supernatural world is just as terrifying, is terrifying, but so is your other coterie. The members in your party could easily backstab you as
Mhm.
you hunt down and deal with other stuff. But yeah, it's a fun game. ATL Night has been a pleasure to kind of jump into. I've never played with the cast before, so it was my first time stepping in with those cast members, and has been so fun to kind of bounce off their dynamic, and
Yeah.
it's been a really fun story. And like I said, Ellie is like incredible storyteller when it comes to, especially with vampires. Like, she knows vampire lore like the back of her hand, and I'm honored to be even able to guest or be on the cast, as often as I can.
How can we see it?
It is on twitch.tv/ATL by night. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We are on hiatus right now. I believe the third season starts in September. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's September, but in the fall, I think is what they said. But VODs are on YouTube under ATL by night. But yeah,
Cool. I'll start binging it.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. The first episode was a little, you got to push through that first episode from sound issues. They were getting their sound in order, but after that, it's golden.
Well, yeah, it's any show you watch, anything you
Oh yeah,
gotta just get through the first one, and then it just
oh yeah.
it's binge city from there.
Oh yeah, I mean even us on D4, you all start out somewhere, and and it continues to get better as you learn yourself, as the show grows, and you learn from your mistakes and you continue to get better, and every episode after the first just gets better and better.
I couldn't agree enough with that. Um, we're gonna take it back to the DMing for a second.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for fellow DMs, inspiring DMs? Because I've said this plenty of times before, but picking up a Dungeons and Dragons book or a vampire book or Pathfinder or whatever you're into, picking
Mm-hmm.
it up, it's terrifying. Learning the lore and the system, and that self doubt of I'm not good enough to do this. What can you tell DMs, aspiring DMs, out there that help them get out of their headspace?
I think the biggest one is have fun. It is a game, but it's a game that you have to have fun playing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not having fun, then look and figure out what it is you're not having fun about it. But also don't be afraid when your players do something unexpected. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can plan A through Z and they're gonna do double XQY.
Mm-hmm.
And that they're gonna go into Roman numerals that you didn't even know existed, but they
Yep.
do, and they're part of the regular alphabet now, and that's just the way it is. Because that's what players do, and that's what makes the game so fun, because the players do the unexpected. So that's the biggest thing. Don't feel like you have to stick to what you have planned. Let the players help you tell the story. 90% of the time, you can have something in mind, and then the players are going to present something that you didn't think of, and it could and possibly will make the story better. So don't push back their ideas, even if they don't know they're giving you ideas. Use those to help tell the narrative and push the story forward. D&D is not it's not one person telling the story. It is a collaborative story between everybody at that player, both players and the dungeon master or storyteller or person, sitting at the head of the table with the DM screen. It is a collaborative storytelling game, and in any tabletop RPG, and don't feel scared. Like, that's the biggest thing, is just have fun. If things don't go as planned, see where they go. And if you can get past that, then I think that's the biggest hurdle, is to try not to stress if things don't go right.
Get out of your mind.
Yep.
Couldn't agree enough. Um, Dustin, here at, or yes, I did call you right name. I was like, was that his right name? Yes. Dustin, here at interviewing with I Like to Play Some Games. Would you be up for
Okay.
that?
Sure. Let's do it.
Awesome. The first one is you're the DM. I need you to pick your perfect party of four. It could be friends, it can be celebrities, it could be people who've passed on. But I need you to pick your perfect party of four.
Perfect party of 4. Ooh, that's so hard, because I feel like I have my perfect party and it's 5 and it's on D4. And
Then that's yours.
and the reason is, and Devin and I are so lucky, because we got almost everyone we wanted, and the only reason we didn't get the final one is because they live a state away and could not be there every week.
Oh.
But they are a recurring guest, and so we kind of did get our perfect party. And my entire cast, Ethan Mansour, Katie Atkins, Goblin Katie, Rhea Watkins, and Patrick Logan, are phenomenal. Devin and I personally handpicked them because they are people that we have role played with, we have played with, we know, they're our friends, they're our family, and they bring so much to the story and the table that it's just, I could not ask for a better table, a better party. Like I say it all the time, like, Devin and I are so lucky with the players we have, and because you have times where one person is making everyone cry because of high emotion and incredible role play, and the next minute they're making everybody laugh by being goofy and silly and saying something, you know, completely goofy. And it's just like almost every episode we're blown away by what they bring and how real they play these characters. And it's, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but it's almost every episode we're like, oh man, that was incredible. I think that was our best episode yet. And you know, I cannot ask for a better party than what we have on D4.
Then you have your perfect party of 5.
Yep.
Dustin, I need you to stat yourself and give yourself an in real life class.
Ooh, I can do that because I think about this often. I am a we'll go down the list. Strength of 8. I have a Dex of 14, Con of 10, Intelligence of 13, Wisdom 12, and Charisma 20.
Okay.
If I had to give myself a class, it would be Sorcerer.
Wild magic or no?
Ooh, probably not wild magic. I am my ADHD would say yes, because I am very spastic. So yeah, probably wild magic.
Okay. Do you have a DM saying, like when you say it, your party is just like, oh, what is he going to do? What did we just do?
What, like a tell? Oh man. Yeah, I think it's especially when, like, during quarantine, when Dev and I have been able to be not at the table with everybody, we will mute the mic and have a conversation, and that can usually mean they did something unexpected or they did something where we got to talk about it real quick. When we're at the table, we'll actually handwrite notes to each other, and you can kind of see it on the, like, as we kind of get quiet, we're like writing, looking in there, like, yeah, let's figure that out. All right. That's probably the biggest tell, is us talking to each other or writing notes to each other when they do something
So
ridiculous.
it's like, oh no, they're talking to one another.
They, I believe, have said that exact phrase.
That just needs to be like on a shirt or something. Can we get that?
I know, right?
We're gonna play a little bit of this or that.
Okay.
Wizard or sorcerer?
Oh man, probably Sorcerer.
Mage hand or prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation, all day, every day.
Bard or ranger?
Probably Ranger.
Lich or death knight?
Oh, Lich.
Combat or RP?
Oh man, that's so hard. Like, right in the middle. I want a little bit of everything, but we'll go with RP. I'd rather have more RP in a campaign than more combat.
DM or player?
A DM.
Fighter or paladin?
Paladin.
Rope or tinderbox?
Rope.
Homebrew or store-bought mod?
I'll say homebrew, because even with store-bought, I'll homebrew it.
Dungeon or dragon?
Dragon.
What color?
White.
Okay.
Or if we're going metallic, silver.
Okay. Okay, I like those. We have one last question before our interview comes to an end. But 2 things. First, again, thank you for being a part of Are You Sure You Want to Do That?
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you. And
yeah.
The second part is I want you to plug any of your stuff. Tell our adventurers how can they find you.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at FlashFletch. You can find D4 at D4D&D RPG across all social media platforms. You can catch us live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/RockPunchATL or twitch.tv/D&D, the official D&D Twitch. You can catch me Tuesdays on ATL by Night, which I plugged earlier. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/ATL by Night. That's pretty much it.
My last question, and again, I'm putting you on the spot. As DMs, we are always coming up with stuff right off the top of our head, whether it be with players or just wanting to throw something else out there at our players. I need you to make a adventuring hook to send our adventurers off on. It can be something small, it can be something intricate, whatever you personally want. But I need you to make a quick adventuring hook.
Okay. All right. We can do that. As you're sitting in the tavern, as most adventures in classic D&D start in the tavern, it is not the noise of the tavern that gets you, but the eerie silence that befalls just as everything is winding down for the night. And as you all step outside, you notice that the entire village or town that you are currently in is gone. I think that's where we're gonna leave off and pick up next time.
Oh, oh no! What would you do, players?
What would
Uh,
you do indeed?
Again, Dustin, thank you so much. And you guys can check out all of his stuff. I will put links and all the fun stuff in the description. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.